Today we will discuss simple interest. Interest is the difference of the initial value and the final value. Initial value and final value. That means whenever we invest or keep some principal with percentage interest lead to final amount. So in this topic, simple interest and compound interest, our main target will be how much time is very important. Time period, this time will be denoted by T. Time will be denoted by T. That means T will be in years. So time T in years, P means the principal, which is the initial value. Now we have two more things for this topic. Firstly, rate of interest, that is R. This is annual rate of interest. Annual rate of interest, percentage, always in percentage, and A will be final amount. Now this concept, simple interest and compound interest, is also considered as a very important part of time value of money, because it is related to some time. In the first case, that is simple interest, in simple interest, what we see, every year same interest to be added. Every year same interest to be added. Same interest. That means simple interest is calculated on the principal, and that increase or interest will be constant throughout the period. Total interest is simple interest. Total interest will be, for simple interest, calculated with the formula PRT by 100. So this is basic idea of simple interest. So in simple interest, this total interest will be after time period T years, rate of interest R% annually, P is the principal, and this total interest will come to PRT by 100. So final amount after some year T years will be A, and that is principal plus PRT by 100. That means initial value plus final value. So it comes to, if I take common and simplify, we will get formula like this. But the formula I can write P into 100 plus RT by 100. But this is main formula. This is the main formula. Now we can take some examples. First example, if rupees, first example, rupees 5,000, rupees 5,000 is invested. Of course, in simple interest, with simple interest at the rate 15% per annum for 4.5 years. To find, we have to find the interest. So what we need to do here, it is principal, which is also called sometimes the sum of money we are investing. P is sum of money we are investing, or principal, which is 5,000 rupees, 5,000. Rate is 15%. T is 4.5 years, so you can write 4.5. So the final answer will be PRT by 100, that is 5,000 into 4.5 in 15, 5,000 into 15 into 4.5 by 100. So ultimately we will get the answer to be 3376. 3376. So this is the actually income from this 5,000 rupees after 4 years, because 15% interest we are getting every year 15 rupees from 100 rupees, and after 4.5 years we will be getting the total income to be 3376 rupees. Now second question we can discuss will be rupees 12,000 becomes rupees 16,500 in 2.5 years. 2.5 years for simple interest, and the question is find the rate. So if rupees 12,000 becomes rupees 16,500 in 2.5 years with the simple interest, how much rate we are having here. So here we are finding simple interest is 16,500 minus 12,000, that is obviously 4,500, and the formula we are having is PRT by 100. What is P? P is this 12,000. So 12,000 is the principal which we have invested. Rate of interest we don't know. 2.5 years divided by 100. Ultimately answer is 4,500. Therefore if you multiply this 2, and this 0 is cancelled, and you are getting 300R, because this 120 into 2.5 comes to 300, is 4,500. So rate of interest will be now 15, that is 15% interest. Now another question we can take, that is rupees 8,500 becomes rupees 10,200 with 12.5% per annum simple interest. So simple interest rate is 12.5%. Question is find the time. That means in this question we have to find out the time period. So here what we are finding, that interest is, simple interest is SI we can write 210200, the 10,200 minus 8,500, that is 1,700. 1,700 is the simple interest. Now this 1,700 simple interest we can calculate from 8,500 into 12.5 into this time. We don't know the time. Divide by 100, and our answer is 1700. So what we are getting is the rate time. So 85 into 12.5, we can use calculator for that if you use calculator. Otherwise this is to be done with the fraction. So what we see is to cancel 85 into 12.5, it comes to actually this is 162.5 T is equal to 16700, and then when we are dividing it with 1700, so our answer will be 1700 by 1062.5. Now the point is, to do quicker calculation, we have to do quick simplification, which I am not discussing here. Actually, I am wanting to discuss the idea of how to calculate the final result. The result comes to 1.6, that is 1.6 year. 1.6 year in month, if I convert, will be 1 year. 0.6 is approximately 7 months. So the final answer of the time period will be 1 year 7 months. So this is another example. Now we can have another question like what sum is required to be invested to earn monthly interest, monthly simple interest. We are discussing simple interest, and the main point is every year we will get the same interest, and we are using this idea of simple interest, but here it is monthly simple interest is given as rupees 1200 at the rate of annual interest is 18% per annum. So we don't know how much principal we have. That means principal we don't know. Rate is 18, sorry, not 12, and this 1200, that is time period, is 1 by 12 year, and SI, that is 1200. So the formula P into R into 1 by 12, that is 100 by, so we are getting this P to be, we can put this 12 and 18 by 12, if I divide, it is coming to be 1.5. Finally we are having the answer 8,000. The last problem, by mistake I said 8,000, it should be rupees 80,000. Now I am doing the next problem. A sum of money becomes rupees 6,200, that is 6,200 in 2 years, and 7,400 in 3 years if invested in simple interest. Find the rate of interest. So in this case we don't know the principal and we don't know the rate. So what we can do, that the difference between these two, that means if I take this 6,200 subtracted from 7,400, then I am getting 1,200. This is annual interest. That means every year, in this case, in this problem, 1,200 will be the simple interest. Therefore, what we can see, that in every year 1,200 means in 2 years the interest will be, simple interest will be 2,400, because 1,200 into 2. But after 2 years our amount, the final amount, is 6,200. So 6,200 minus 2,400, that is 3,800 will be the principal, because simple interest every year 1,200 is added to the principal. So 3,800 plus 1,200 becomes 5,000, then again 1,200 becomes 6,200. So 6,200 the amount after 2 years, then principal will be 3,800. Therefore we have the principal, we know the interest for 1 year, so I can calculate the rate, that is 3,800 into the rate for 1 year. PRT by 100 will be 1,200, and we can calculate the rate now by dividing this 1,200 with 38. So the answer we are getting here 31.5, approximately 7%. So this type of problems we can solve. One special type of problem we can have in simple interest, where we don't know anything about the simple interest principles, not simple interest, principle. We don't know the amount directly, exactly what is the amount, but we know some relation, some kind of concept like triple or 4 times or 5 times the final amount becoming. So that case I would advise to take the principal to be 100. So whenever we are not understanding the principal or initial money will be how much, we can take that to be 100. The question is sum of money. This type of questions we can solve like this. The sum of money becomes treble. That means 3 times in 20 years. Now find the rate, or another type question, rate that is simple interest. Rate in simple interest. Of course, it is mentioned in the question, rate in simple interest, and in how many years. It can be also another question can be asked, in how many years the sum will become 4 times. Sum will become 4 times. That means the question here, 2 questions I am giving here. One is what is the rate, annual rate of interest if it is simple interest, and the second one is in how many years the sum will become 4 times. So we can take one thing, that principal is 100. So if I start the problem by taking principal to be 100, then our idea will be P is 100, rate of interest we don't know, but the final amount what you are finding is 300. So simple interest is 300 minus 100, that is 200. Therefore what we can do, rate we don't know, but time is given to be 20 years. So what we are having, this 100 P R we don't know, T 20 divided by 100, and that is 200, which is the simple interest. So very simple, R is 10%. So rate of interest will be 10%. Therefore the next part of the question can be answered very quickly. That is final amount in the last part will be 400. So amount is 400. Then the simple interest will be 400 minus 100 because we have taken principal as 100. So it is now 300. Therefore now what we are having is PRT by 100. Now we know R, that is P is 100, R is 10%, time we don't know, divide by 100 is equal to 300. So time finally is 30 years. That's all for today, and we have discussed today the idea of simple interest, in which we have discussed actually when the interest is paid every year same amount, and the formula we have discussed PRT by 100, and amount will be of course principal plus interest, and we have seen some examples of simple interest. So today we have completed simple interest. Next day we will start compound interest.